So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful city of Highland. It's my honor and pleasure to be here this morning and welcome all the sponsors and attendees back to the second annual Leaders in Energy Summit Conference here at the Bear Springs Conference Center. On behalf of the San Bernardino International Airport, I personally want to thank you for all your work in advancing new technologies and business opportunities in our region. As the SBD Cares nonprofit chair, it's a mouthful, I also want to thank you for supporting this event in which proceeds will benefit students for local scholarships. So thank you very much for that. This morning, I wanted to just share with you our city, a couple of projects that I'm proud of. This is a view of our beautiful city. But I want to move over to the Baseline Overpass project. And this is, there you go. So this is a new project. We just did the Baseline Bridge Overpass on the 210. And these improvements will increase the vehicle capacity and as well as reduce the congestion. The development that will occur right here is encouraged by, we have a program called Come Home to Highland, and it encourages development and projects to develop under the current standards as well as the green development standards that promote and produce energy efficient to be built in our city of Highland along that corridor. Our project, this is our police station, and the police station has a large solar system on the roof that was included with the original construction. It also features a cool roof that was installed to reflect the sun and reduce the heat. So right there, that's on top of our roof. We have the solars, and then we also have the cool roof that was added to that. We have the Sam J. Riccatio Environmental Learning Center, and this library was constructed under the LEED Gold standards for the energy efficiency, and it also has a solar system on top of the roof. One of the boards that I serve on is the Omnitrans, which is our public transportation throughout the region for the county of San Bernardino. And this right here, Omnitrans has 4 new complete electric vehicles that represent the agency's latest path to achieve a zero emissions. For those of you who don't know, Omnitrans require to be 100% electric, which was probably about 100 buses by the year 2040. So I wanted to share with that. If you see that on the road, that is our new electric bus, and we have 4 of them. So those are just a couple little projects that we are proud of and to help do our project to sustain zero emissions in the county. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Jerry, and thanks for having me here, and enjoy your summit today.
Thank you, Penny. So next up, we have County Supervisor Baca Jr. Come on up.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for the yoga. Everybody enjoy the yoga lesson this morning? But I think that was important that everybody did this. I think it's important to understand the importance of mental wellness, which is a big challenge in our community, in our society today. I know we're here to talk about energy. I want to thank Jerry Silva. Let's give it up for Jerry for hosting the second annual. It's a great event. I want to thank our leadership for being here, our elected officials. I got my former colleague, Senator Ron Calderon. Good to see you again. Good to be here. But clearly you're here to talk about green energy, what green energy means to our society. And as Ms. Lilburn was talking about, a little bit about government's role in dealing with green energy, and I think that we play a big role in it. As we look at building our new buildings, the County of San Bernardino has a $500 million project that we're building in the downtown area. We're looking at energy efficiency with that, energy efficient buildings with charging stations, building the infrastructure, which is very important. The other thing we're looking is at our county hospital. Our county hospital looking at extending parking structures, and within those parking structures, we're looking at adding infrastructure for the charging stations, because that is the new wave that we need to start looking at to become more energy efficient. The other thing we're doing is supporting many projects throughout the county, particularly in the high desert. We have many solar farms that are being built. Those are good ways to produce energy. The big trend that's now going is what they call battery farms. So we're seeing more and more businesses coming in to build battery farms to recharge and sell the energy back to Edison. As a matter of fact, we're in negotiations in the Bloomington community of trying to find ways where businesses can hook batteries up to the grid and take advantage of that. Edison is in full support of it. Edison's a great company. They're looking at being leaders in energy. One of the challenges we have, I know that's government's role, but how does the average person begin to be part of this? One of the challenges, say for example, someone buys an electric vehicle, which is expensive to the average person. It's a challenge. So we're hoping that technology at some point in time could bring those costs down so the average person could begin to purchase electric vehicles. But not only purchasing the electric vehicles, you have to look at their home, a new panel box to make sure they have enough energy at home to withhold or withstand the amount of charging that needs to be done. I mean, for the average person to spend $6,000 to $10,000 to upgrade their panels is very, very challenging. Those are some of the things we have to take a look at. You know, how can we help the average person? But hopefully the technology will begin to bring things down. But I think it's what we have to continue to do. I believe government has a strong role in it. And your discussion today becomes very, very important because then you can then share with your leaders, hey, this is things we should take a look at, bringing projects to us as cities, counties, school boards. These are ways we can become energy efficient. I know that many of our school districts have begun to put solar panels in their school district. We think that's a good step. So we're taking many good steps right now, but the big challenge for us as government is having enough infrastructure throughout the county. I'll give you an example. So we were looking at potentially electrifying our fire engines. We're looking at fire engines, making sure they get electrified, but the challenge is they may have to get charged twice a day. When you're responding to a call, how can you get charging? Is there the infrastructure in that area to make sure they get charged? So a big challenge for this community is going to be the infrastructure being in place to make sure we have enough access to charging stations. In some of our mountain areas, remote areas, we have people that respond to those areas. Those folks aren't going to have charging stations, especially when it comes to safety. You know, our police and fire, they're out in the mountains or in the desert. It's a challenge. So those are things we have to consider, begin to look at the broader picture. But what you're doing today is a great example of what we need to continue to do. Thank you all for being you. Have a great summit and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's welcome County Supervisor Baca. That was very well done, Joe. And I'd like to add a couple things to that. As you look at the infrastructure, there's going to be the first panel is all about where the funding is, not only in the private, in the public sector, but I also have a speaker later on the private sector where those development dollars are going to be, and take advantage of those opportunities. If you're in the city and the county, those are opportunities for those areas. So with that, I'm going to bring up our next opening, Mayor Tran, who please give her a welcome.
Thank you, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. I am the newly elected mayor, just got into office a little over 4 months ago, but I'm just so excited to be in this role for a city that is really primed to develop itself. And as we are looking at sustainability and looking at green energy, and for being here to provide some opening remarks, it's an honor because we as leaders have to think differently and look into the future, working with our partners, working with our fellow neighbors, Highland and other cities in the region, because San Bernardino, 62 square miles, we're underdeveloped. We have the potential to really make sure that we are putting sustainability, green energy, all of these components that are critical to develop a city, a community for the future. So just recently, you know, SCAG, we were at a Southern California Association of Governments SCAG conference last week, and City of San Bernardino was the recipient of an award for clean cities, alternative use and infrastructure, whereby we established a framework for transitioning the city's fleet from conventionally powered vehicles to zero to low emission vehicles. Again, we have to do things differently and preparing for the future. As we know, a lot of things have come down the pipeline to ensure that we're addressing climate change. We are addressing the pollution, all of these components that are critical for us. So having this summit, thank you so much, Jerry, because this is critical, and for all of you to be here, this is an important conversation where we're all having to work together to be more effective and create a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Tran. So before I go into the next segment, just a couple house cleaning items, please. And I think I'm guilty of it too. Let's put all of our phones on vibrate since we're going to be bringing up a panel here shortly. And so with that, I want to recognize a few people. And Amber's heading over to the board because we're going to recognize all of our sponsors. So that includes Southern California and Terry Maddox. Thank you for sponsoring. And I want to include my former colleagues that were part of that. Alex Esparza. I got to make sure because they're gonna be on me going, did you recognize us? Yes. So Alex Esparza, Chanel Parsons, Caitlin, and of course Terry. So, and you're going to hear a very spirited conversation on generation later and grid stability and grid reliance and hardening. So Southern California Gas Company, I want to recognize Kristen Scott, who is not able to join us quite yet, but hopefully she'll be here later. San Manuel, we really want to recognize Kate Ellis and Eric U Station. So thank you. And Sam, I know the last name, so thank you again from San Manuel. From Grid Store, we have Matt Gillen. He's over here somewhere. He's behind us. There he is. Please raise your hand, Matt. I know you're there. Thank you from Grid Store. From JS Held, we have Andrea Courtney from Vimasi. You heard from Kevin Rindell, so thank you, Kevin. And from Hispanic Coalition of Small Business, we have Frank Montez, and the World Green Growth Summit organization, we have Alejandra. And from the Hispanic 100, we have Mario Rodriguez. So with that, I want to thank all of my sponsors and affiliates. So with that, I'd like to bring up, is Mike around? Mike Bros in yet? He's working. Okay, so I'd like to bring up Frank Reyes. So Frank, so I know you wanted to say a few words on behalf of San Bernardino Community College. So especially some of the educational grants we'll talk about later.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for inviting me, Jerry. I just came back from Washington, D.C., and we have a golden opportunity to get some funding from the Department of Energy. And we're not taking advantage of that. I'm in higher education, so I'm mostly interested in getting students to get a good education. We actually took some students over there as well. President Biden has actually put together a organization. It's called a National Climate Change Task Force that was put together to find out where there's monies available. And the Inland Empire in California can gain a lot, but we're not taking advantage of that because a lot of times we don't know. I was invited because I've been part of the White House Initiative Higher Education. So I was talking to my good friend Jerry, and we're actually leaving a lot of money on the table. So we need to learn to work with our senators and our congressional people. I know that Congressman Pete Aguilar has been very instrumental in getting, but we're not getting enough because we're talking about billions of dollars. Our students really benefited a great deal because the future workforce is going to be the young people that are going to go out. So the Department of Energy is doing a good job, but I think we could do a better job. I belong to an organization called HACU, Hispanic Association of College Universities. We have 560 Hispanic serving institutions throughout the country, which means that any university, UCR, Cal State San Bernardino, if you have a 25% or more of your student population Hispanic, we qualify for certain grants, not just for the Hispanics, for anybody that's going to that university. UCR, like I said, UCLA wants to become, you have to have 25%. But by doing that, we're able to educate everybody who's going to that university. And we've done a good job at the San Bernardino Community College District. We've gotten, the last 20 years, we've gotten close to $200 million. And that's really nothing compared to what we could be getting if we work together, the UCRs. And I come back and I talk to people at UCR and Cal State San Bernardino. So it's there. So we need to take advantage. And of course, Jerry and I talk a lot about, because he was in the Department of Energy, and I says, Jerry, we need more money to educate our students. We're building a facility at San Bernardino Community College District of $100 million to teach the future workforce. So we're doing that. But we got money from the state. The state of California gave us $35 million. We put in another $35 million. But that's not enough. There's billions of dollars in the federal government, and we need to go after that. And I've talked to Mayor Tran about this, and she really gets excited, and we should, but we need to go over there. We can't do anything if we're not at the table. A lot of times it takes a lot of time to go from California to Washington, D.C., and it takes a whole day. So a lot of times some people can't go, and the students can't do. But I think we need to program ourselves to the point where we put 2 or 3 days aside and go over there, and we can begin to advocate for this. So I don't want to leave any money on the table. We're in the process of actually applying for a couple of $1 million grants, and we will be successful. We have been successful, but that's not enough. But we want to share that with the other universities and colleges that are in the area. And of course, that really penetrates to the business community can also take advantage of this. See, people don't realize that. So we can partner education and the business community can really do a good job. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to partner with Jerry. Jerry's always done a good job, and Frank Montes. It's there, and I'm excited about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. So I really want to encourage our legislators and our elected officials, and Mayor Tran, I know you're walking out, but I want to encourage you. There is a lot of infrastructure dollars on so many different fronts, and there's so much opportunity out there to take advantage of that. You're going to hear about it in the first panel. We're recording this for a reason so it can be dispersed to your different groups and organizations.